Okay, here's Mega here. I'm doing a video on the Suron X Spike rear fender. So supposedly on the website it said that you could install this on a regular Suron light B. I think they got one that works on it. So they said you had to drill some kind of hole in the frame before, but yeah, I don't know. So they do. This is what comes in the package. I got this for $25 at Lunicycle. And I just wanted to try it out. I think it looks kind of goofy. I think it looks okay, you know, but you don't really see any dirt bikes with these, right? So, but one of the problems with the Suron Light B is the fender sucks, man. It just spewing mud and water and dirt on the back of your helmet and back on your back. So, I wanted to try this out to see if it actually worked. So this is what you get in the package. You get the actual fender right here. It's a nice little plastic dealie made out of some pretty strong plastic, and then you get these two sides right here, the brackets, and then you get this axle here. So little axle, it's a hardware mounting kit is what it is. Let's see what's in it. But yeah, I can tell you now there's an axle in here. So I think it's supposedly it's a longer axle, so you can install it, so it doesn't, you know, it's long enough because you're going to add some more meat to your dealie. And it comes with a mechanical locking nut and four bolts, 4 Allen head bolts. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that together. I'm doing a Supermoto wheel install, so I wanted to install this at the same time. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. So first, what you're gonna want to do is take the zip ties out. I'm gonna go in and assemble. Okay, I'm kind of unsure as to how to install the brackets on there, but what you're gonna want to do is probably line these up to where they're gonna go, like right here, and that's what the rear is gonna be like. So and then you're gonna want to install them like that. You're gonna want to line it up to this stuff. So I think that's a good question. Really sure which way is. I wish they added like an arrow or something. They don't. So I do know what this is for. This is for like a license plate holder, and it didn't come with anything that holds your license plate. So there's just going to be holes here. Okay, so I've already semi put it together, but the way you want to install it is with these holes, these 3 holes here, facing downward. You don't want it to face it upward because it's, like I said, it's for mounting a license plate. So. You can put a reflector on here too. I think that's what that's for. So yeah, I wish they'd put some kind of arrow on this. I think once you could probably install it upside down too. So I think once you get it right, you're probably never going to take it apart anyway. So I wouldn't even bother. But if you're that concerned about it, you can go get like a silver Sharpie or something, and then put like an upwards an arrow going up or something, however you want it. But that's the fender right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and so they just slide into these slots here. See, just going like that, and just kind of mock it up before you put it in, so you know how it looks. It's, you know, you could, like I said, you could install it upside down. So I guess it wouldn't really matter, but if you do plan to use these holes for the license plate and stuff, you could still use them. So I don't have that hardware. So okay, so now just go ahead and put the bolts in carefully. I'm gonna go work it in by hand first. It doesn't fall out. See, one of them already popped out. Okay, it looks like it's a 4mm Allen wrench. Okay, so before you put the the bolts in, I would suggest you put this stuff, Loctite, or some kind of bolt retaining compound or fastener retaining compound on your bolts, so they don't come out. This looks like something it would come out if you rode the bike, you know, enough. It's just kind of hanging out there. It's flopping around. It's vibrating a whole lot. Put a lot of Loctite on it. Gonna take each one out again and then just put it back. It's probably gonna make a little bit of a mess with the Loctite. It's okay, you can just wipe the excess off. I don't know how tight to make it, just snug. Okay, so there it is, all ready to be installed, so fully assembled. So it's gonna go on like something like that, how the wheel is. So all right, so yeah, it's kind of weird, there's like holes in it and stuff. I guess if you wanted to plug the holes, you could probably just put some bolts in it, some bolts and nuts in it to plug it up, plug up the holes, or you can put some electrical tape over it. I don't know, I think bolts will look better. All right. There is a screw thing here also. I don't know what goes on here, man. It didn't come with that. So okay, so we're gonna go install the rear supermoto wheel. So this is gonna be like a dual installation video. This will be a separate video for the Fender, but I am installing the Suron rear fender, the X-Bike rear fender. I'm gonna give it a whirl. So so I've already assembled it, and this will go on. Actually, we got a new axle too to install also, so we'll compare the axles. So first thing you're going to want to do, so for the Fender install, really you don't have to take the chain off to do it. But there's already no chain on there because my Suron threw its chain the other day, so like it makes it easier for me. But yeah. If you're running, I think if you're running the stock, I believe if you're running the stock Sprocket on your Suron, you don't need to change the chain. You can just leave the chain on there if you want. So, all right. So I believe it's a 17 millimeter to take the rear wheel off. Yes, it is. Okay. So what you're gonna want is a 17 and a 6. So you need a 17 and a 6. I'll show you what I'm working with here. So the 17 goes here, and I think it has to be a socket. You might be able to get a wrench in there maybe, but it's kind of like a socket that's better. And then you need a 6 millimeter to keep the other side from moving right there. The 6 doesn't fit perfectly. There's a lot of play in it. Maybe that's just my bike, I'm not sure, but that just keeps this from spinning on the other side. And you can probably try to push on it with your finger, but just use a 6 millimeter on this side. So that's what's going on that side. Okay, I put it on there super tight last time, so it's not wanting to come off. It's probably better that you use a short 17 also. There we go. It's on there pretty tight. Okay, and you can probably just do it by hand now, or you can use the Allen wrench to help work it out. There we go. So interesting to note, there is a spacer on this side, but there is a spacer on this side. Okay, and then you're going to want to push the axle out. Okay, one of the adjusters may come out with it, and the wheel. So this is the axle right here. Let's go put that someplace safe. The brake will want to come out with it. Maybe you gotta take the brake out first. And no, not really. Just kind of put the brake to the side, and then it should just come off just like that. So there we go. That's the rear wheel off. Also, take note there is a spacer here. Oh, okay. It's kind interesting spacer. Oh, there's a spacer on each side. Okay. So you want to make sure you don't lose those. And make sure you kind of you remember what side goes where. I think this long one goes on the right. And the not so big one goes on the left. So this is the one on the left. So in this video clip, I'm showing you the difference between the stock Suron MX spike and the stock and the Suron X spike rear fender axle bolt. So they give you this longer axle. It's slightly longer, just by like, I'm not even gonna measure it. It's like 5 or 6 millimeters longer. So you can install this fender dealie here. Oh man, this does look like it's very strong, man. I wonder how well that's gonna hold up to some off-road riding. We'll see. Anyway, yeah. So it's about 5-6 millimeters longer than the stock Suron MX rear axle. So just in case you're wondering, they give you the longer one for a reason, because you have to sandwich this thing in between there. So all right, so and I'd imagine you're going to put it behind this adjustment block right here. It's very light, it's aluminum. All right, so let's continue installing our. Okay, so before we install this new axle, I'm going to go lube it up a little. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on the new axle. Because you want to put a little bit of grease. You want there to be some grease on your axle, because the stock axle has some grease on it. And that's what you should do for motorcycles too. Just make sure there's a little bit of grease on here, because it helps seal everything. You know, keeps the dirt and the moisture out. It's a good idea. It's just a light coat. Okay. It's probably you're going to wind up pushing some of it out anyways when you put the axle in. Alright, just set that aside somewhere where you can get quick access to it. So I think what you're going to want to do first is thread it through your adjuster block right here. Like that. So yeah, some grease already came out of it. And then you're going to want to set it aside first. Oh no! No. Okay, so when we install, you're gonna have to sandwich. Oh, this is gonna be a pain in the ass to install. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Okay, so this fender install is a kind of a pain in the ass. It requires you sandwich a lot of stuff together. So okay, I got the rear supermoto wheel right there. So first thing we're gonna do is install these spacers. So this was, if you remember correctly, the longer one goes on the right. So we're just going to shove that in there, like so. So I just put that right in there. And then I got the left one right here. Put that on the other side. You can't see, but it's pretty much the same way as the other one. And we're going to go wheel the wheel kind of where we want it to be. Here we go. Alright, so put this X Fender dealie here. It's got to come on first, I'm thinking. Yeah, it's got to come in first. And your adjustment blocks are going to stick out a little bit. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, just put this on first. And it'll actually hold itself up. It's an interesting thing. And then go ahead and get your axle with the adjustment block threaded in. Put it in there. Okay, hold on. And then now we got to go get our wheel. So I would put the adjustment block in last. It kind of acts like a washer sort of. Alright, so go get your wheel and line up the axle. And just put the wheel back on. Okay, round two. So I already tried this before and I messed up. So I was wondering why there was a big gap between the spacer and the swing arm. And that's because this acts as a spacer, your brake caliper. So you gotta make sure you put that in there before you put everything together. So that's why it didn't go on like that. So I'm just giving you a warning before I put it on. So that's what's going on. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and install the wheel. Just remember what I told you about the caliper. Make sure you get the caliper in there first. So I'm gonna get the caliper in there. Line that bad boy up, and then I'm going to go get the I'm gonna go get the axle next, and then just put it in just a little bit, just enough so it can hold on to the brake disc bracket. Okay. Now I'll show. Okay, so there's your axle, there's your adjuster right there, and then there's your brake bracket. So you want to thread it in just enough so it'll hold all that stuff. And then there's a little peg kind of sticking out on the side of the swing arm. That's what keeps this thing from rotating, and it slides on it. You want to make sure that's in the hole. So it's kind of hard to see. It's like, yeah, you can kind of see. You can see it right there, like right there. You want to make sure that's in the slot. All right, so okay, go back. So now we're pretty much ready to get it installed. So now you're going to want to bring the rear wheel up and get it in the. I know, there's a lot of things you have to get lined up. This kind of sucks, man. I want to push the brake bracket to the side as much as possible. Okay, oh, you want to get the brake in there too. Make sure you line up the brake line. Oh boy, this is kind of annoying. Interessante. Whew, okay. Yeah, what a pain in the ass. Whew. Popped out that one. Okay. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot going on there. So I kind of just did it for you right there, but I'm gonna tell you what was going on. So there's a lot of things. So I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna kind of talk you how I did it. So you cannot slide the spacer into this because it has to sit in here already. So what you got to do is you got to line the brake caliper up to the brake rotor. Get that lined up in there. Make sure the pads are in between it. I hope they are. They look like it. and then you got to put the spacer, the left spacer, into the little cup that's on the brake bracket, and then you got to put the axle in. So put the axle in. So this has to be on there already. You put the axle in with the adjuster nut, the adjuster block here, and that's sandwiched between the whatchamacallit here. Oh boy. Okay, yeah. I wonder if this has any movement. You can move it back and forth. And then yeah, you got to put the fender in here, and then you stick the axle through all the way to the other side. Make sure this spacer is lined up with the hole in the swing arm. Get that all the way through, and then fish that through the rear fender, and then that should be it. Oh no, and then you got this guy. Oh, the block, adjustment block, and then go ahead and put your new nut in. I wish they put some kind of safety wire thing on this. I had an axle come off on me. And there we go. It's pretty much installed. So I'm fairly certain that you're going to have to okay, so the next step is to torque the rear sprocket, rear axle. So this is the longer one here. So if you remember correctly, it was a 17. So go ahead and snug it up first. Go get your 6mm, put it on 6mm Allen wrench dealy. Go ahead and tighten that up. You want to make sure you push the adjuster blocks all the way forward. Adjustment blocks all the way forward, or they are now. It helps if you push forward on the wheel a little bit so it doesn't walk itself back. And just kind of snug it first. Okay, so now we're going to go torque the rear axle. So according to the Suron UK torque guide here, the rear wheel axle tighten is 55 to 60 newton meters right here, or 41 to 44 foot-pounds. So let's go with the middle, 42. So I'm going to go set my torque dealie to 42 foot-pounds. Okay, 42 foot-pounds right there. It's going to make a little beeping sound when it says 42. So get your 6mm just to kind of hold it in place. Okay. Okay, that's about 40, 41, 42 right there. And we're done. So that's it. So the wheel on the new Fender is installed. That's what it looks like. So that's how you install the X Fender. And then you would probably want to check your chain tightness after. I'm not going to go over that in this video. But that's how you install the wheels and the X Fender. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the show. It's kind of like a how-to vlog. I'm kind of like learning this as I go along, but I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. And if you guys are planning on buying the X Fender or the Supermoto kit, that's the kind of stuff that you're gonna have to do to get this installed. I did a couple extra things, but that's it. All right, let's make out.